Hello everyone, welcome to 2026. It is the 5th. I got a couple things I've been working on since I put up the last video, but it was just the time between like Christmas and my birthday, which was yesterday, is just not time. It's not real time, it doesn't count. Nobody has to be doing things between Christmas. For most people, it's the New Year, but for me, I get 3 extra days because that's my birthday on the 4th. But, like, that's not real time. People aren't doing things, so I wasn't filming. I wasn't worried about it. I was just existing in the not time because it was not time. But I did, first and foremost, finish the Dragonair scarf. It is... Let's actually measure it, because I haven't actually measured it. I just had my brother hold it up, and it's about his height, and he's about, like, 5'10", 5'11". But I have... Let's see. But on the neck here, you can see, and then it goes into the belly. Let's see how long this thing actually is. Just keeps going. All right, that's 60. Now I gotta pull it all the way over again. It is 80 inches long, which is, oh good lord, I can do math today. It's too early for math. 6 2/3 feet. But you got the whole belly, all the way to the tail, and then up the back is obviously all blue, and then you have the head. And the only thing on this that I did not design myself are these little wing appliques. I'll link what I used below. I used them also when I made my sussy pattern, when I made this guy. So the black part of his wings, same pattern as the head wings here. There is no need. There we go. And it's just like Complicated Knots, who I follow her channel and her like Pokemon streams she does, because she's crocheting the Pokedex. And she just talks about like her like what motivates her to design different patterns and stuff. And just this last week she was talking about what's her online name? I know her legal name is Megan Lapp, and she's got a bunch of books out. I think it's Crafty Intentions. But Complicated Knots was talking about Crafty Intentions snail pattern, and she's like, it's perfect. It's everything I would want in a crocheted snail. So why would I make my own and like reinvent the wheel? And that's how I feel about these wings. They were perfect. They were the right shape. They had the right little number of feathers on them. Why reinvent the wheel? Why do something over when you already have a solution that works? My pants are not working with this chair. They're very slidey. But yeah, so that's that. The thing that I ordered for my friend, whose husband this scarf is for, you can see her little Zubat back there waiting. That got shipped out this weekend, so hopefully I can send these out soon. So that's that project. And then I spent 3 days replaying Okami, because it's my favorite video game of all time. And I'm so hyped for the sequel. And I know it's going to be like a couple more years yet. But I'm so excited. And I decided to make myself a little Ami. And this is also a Complicated Knots pattern. This is the Little Wolf pattern. And I just made it all in white and then embroidered on all of the stripes. I need to turn this damn light down. It looks a little flickery on my screen, and I'm hoping that doesn't come through on the actual video. And if it does, I'm so sorry. But yes, so I made Amaterasu. And yeah, I made out of polymer clay all of the little like zodiac statues. I'll put a picture of what they all look like up there. But I made them all. They're all like this big. And I have them on a shelf. And then my friend that I'm sending the octopus, raccoons, and rats to last year for my birthday, or 2 years ago, one of them got me these two like Japanese tea cups. And one has Ami and Isun on it, and the other one has Waka on it, which is great because Waka's my favorite character from that game. And those are really cute. So I have all those on a shelf, and then I'm just going to set this guy up there with them. And then the only other two things I made yesterday. Because I was working on those corner to corner squares, and I got like one full skein done, so I have 5 of them done. And I started the next skein, and it's the first square of the next skein, and I got to like, you start with yellow, and then you do gray, teal, gray, pink, gray, yellow, and then you end with gray. And on that second yellow, the tension was not working. And I was like, I'm not having fun. So I hucked it on the other side of the room, and I pulled out some of my scrap yarn just to like, I don't know. This is one of my favorite things I made last year. I love the way this turned out. It's so damn cute. It's going to be one of those things that's like just useful. Like whatever my current project is will probably end up in this because it's got the handles. It's like lightweight. It smushes down if I need it to. Like it also sits nice as a basket if I need it to. So I wanted to make some more stuff like that. So I pulled out my scrap yarn, and I had just like the tiniest bit left of the big twist like pride yarns. I had just the tiniest bit left of the non-binary one. So I took that, I found a purple-ish scrap, a yellow scrap, a black scrap, a white scrap, and I worked them all together and made this little, it's gonna have just a bunch of this stuff that's always causing a mess at my desk. Ta-da! And that just keeps them all contained. And that took me like 20 minutes, if that. The hardest part of that was getting all the yarn. I had to go raid my mom's stash. And then I had a bunch of like red and pink, which are not really the colors I tend to pick, but I had a lot of them. So I made this one. And honestly, I think it looks like bacon. But it serves its purpose, which is to keep all of my stuff that sits out on the counter in the kitchen contained, because it likes to just spread. So those are the things I made in the last like week and a half. Last year, for my birthday, I made, I don't know if you guys can see in there, I made this blanket. And I like to pick things to make for my birthday as things I don't usually want to make, because it gives me extra motivation for it to be like, I'm making myself a birthday present. Granny square things are tedious and repetitive, and while the autistic half of me likes that, the ADHD half of me does not. And so it's like, that's why I am still nowhere near done with that skull granny square blanket I'm making. Because it's just like, some days I'm like, I don't want to sit here and make a bunch of granny squares. I digress. Not the point. This year for my birthday, I'm going to be making myself the Fuck AI skeleton cardigan, and I'll picture here. If you've been on the internet in the last like 6 months in any of the crochet spaces, you've probably seen it. I am going to be using, we'll open this back up again, this combination of yarns. This is the Red Heart Retro Stripe, the rainbow, and black. So I'm going to do the main body all in black, and then the skeleton will be in the retro stripe. I have so much of the retro stripe, and it's not like I'm gonna use it all on this project anyway. But in the like pattern and the picture examples that are up for this cardigan, it's by Earth Tricks too, and I'll link the Ravelry link in the description below. But in the example pictures, and that'll be the picture I put here, she has one where she did a rainbow skeleton with like the background being purple. So yesterday I watched the Complicated Streams first stream of the year, which is where she does, it's still Complicated Knots, but it's a separate channel where she does all of her Pokemon streams for crocheting the Pokedex. So I watched that, and then when I got off of that, Killian, Viney Maple, was live, so I started watching that, and I brought up that I wanted to make this, and we were talking about, it was like, I didn't know what, like, yarn I wanted to use with it, and Killian mentioned rainbow, and I was like, I could do that. I have so much of that retro stripe, so that's where we got with that. Hello everyone, I am down here in comfy chair because that one makes my butt hurt after a while. With a progress update on the back panel. I'm not done because I'm doing the long version, but I have finished the rib cage. Would you not do that? Ta-da! As you can see on the floor back there, I'm still on my first skein of retro stripe, so that's that. So far, so good. I really like how it's coming out. If you get real up close, you can see the other thread that I carried behind, but when it's back here, you really can't. And if anybody's that close up to me and is asking about it, they can go fuck themselves. Because I just don't care. I don't want to weave in 800 ends. I'm not in the mood. It's January. I'm not in the mood to do hard things until February at the earliest. Because January, December, and November are garbage months for me. Because they are dark. They are the 3 darkest months of the year. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, which I do. And they make me sad. So we will not be making our life harder until at least February. Besides that, I have no other progress updates for you. I have made a decision, however, and that decision is that the beanbag has to go. I need a grown-up chair. I need an adult chair. I'm leaning towards a recliner, but we'll see. And I'm not going to get rid of the beanbag. It'll probably go into the craft room, and the cats can continue to use it as the world's largest cat bed, because they do love it. It's just not an all-day, every-day sitting situation that is working out for me right now. But I digress. We will get there. Yeah, I would like to, if I can get my brain back into that mode, work on my Sailor Moon embroidery this year and maybe like get that closer to done, because I have finished Venus. I believe I've shown you guys this before, but I can show you it again. So I have this hand. I have Sailor Venus all done. I have most of Mars's hair. I have all of Mars's hair done and most of her clothing. And then I just have to do her skin tone. And then, everybody else, because let me unravel everything for you and show you. It's like I started this, and then like right after I started this, I got way into crochet. So it's all the Sailor Scouts, including, my personal favorite, the outer Senshi, because they're like the coolest ones. But yeah, I need to finish this. I need to motivate myself to finish this. I also have an 8-piece cross-stitch set that I bought that's all Legend of Zelda. I need to finish that. I need you guys to yell at me and make me finish my goddamn shit, please. Thank you. And like, I have like nice stuff to do cross stitch and embroidery with, and crochet is so much faster. And like, crochet is not a fast art form. No, fiber art is. You can fight me in the comments section. But compared to hand embroidering something like this, yeah, crochet is super speedy. Super speedy. Not to say that like it's more or less rewarding or a better craft. I get very different things out of them. But the other thing with this is my calluses are all gone. So I work on it for like an hour and then my fingies hurt. I have to do her eyes too. Oh, and her tiara. I also bought specifically for this one. I think it's in here. I bought like a bunch of seed beads to put in for like their earrings and stuff. But I have to finish it like, I have grand plans for this, but I have to actually fucking finish it. So that might be, I might try to make like, I don't want to make grand sweeping statements I'm not going to live up to because I know who I am as a person and I know what is most likely to happen. But if between now and next January, I can finish Mars and maybe Mercury, that'd be goddamn awesome, would it not? We'll see. But, yeah, that's that. As far as like, you know, the new year and goals and stuff, I am not a New Year's resolution person at all. I'm ADHD. It doesn't work for me. It's not it's just, the whole thing, the whole like resolution goal setting mentality has never been something that I've been like, oh yeah, that works for me, because it doesn't. But I would like to finish some of my bigger works in progress this year. And that's going to be my big nebulous goal. So, like I said, I have the Sailor Moon embroidery. I have the Zelda cross stitches. If I could get like one of those even half done, because I'm underneath my desk here. I have a whole little storage area and I'm looking at it. I have all 8 frames. Like, I bought the frames. I'm ready. I'm good. Sorry, thought somebody was coming in my room. They weren't. I digress. So, I've got the Zelda stuff. I've got the Sailor Moon stuff. And then as far as crochet, my 2 big whips in the crochet are the leaf garland curtain that I want to put over on my closet door over here, and the skull granny square blanket. Those are the 2 like big, like long-term have been whips, continue to be whips situations. As far as new whips go, I have the corner to corners, which if I'm getting a chair, I don't really need a chair pillow back for the beanbag. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet. I have the mosaic blanket I started. I would like to work on that, but I feel like that's like a chair requirement, like curl down, cozy up, get good, then work on it. So that one's staying in the box too. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking. It's kind of how I'm feeling. My brain is slowly starting to get back into like real time and doing things and structure, because let's be real, like the week before Christmas through the week of New Year's, it's not real time. There's not structure. There's not consistency. The day of the week doesn't fucking matter. It's a mess. I am slowly starting to get back into a routine. So, that's the update on this. I would love to finish this today. I don't think that's going to happen. So tomorrow. My goal is to have the back panel done by tomorrow. I think after this, I'm going to do the hood. And then maybe the sleeves, and then I'll do the front panels because it's the same pattern, but like split in half to make an openable cardigan. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I haven't decided if I want a cardigan or a long sweater. If I want a long sweater, I gotta make the back panel. Yeah, I don't know. I need to think about it. That's what that comes down to. But yeah, ramblings for you to start off the new year. All right. First things first, I have a chair. I did not buy this chair. It was in our living room. We rarely use our living room, so I asked if I could put it in here. They said it's cool. So, chair. I have a completed back piece. One half of the hood. And one sleeve. Um, so I'm going to start today by making the other half of the hood because where I left off on this sleeve, I'm almost to the point where I can make the two sides match. So I've just got two, and yeah, right there. So I've got to cut off like a foot with that. Other than that, I did work a little bit on my Sailor Moon embroidery, but I lost all the calluses on my fingertips, so I kind of got to slowly work my way back into that one because my fingers are not used to using a needle anymore, especially a little small tiny one like embroidery. So yeah, those are those updates. I don't think I have anything else. Last time I checked in with you, I was working on this. I was going to start the second side, and I got that far. And I'm like, I don't want to work on this right now because I have been possessed, taken over, consumed, if you will, by vines. So many vines. I weaved in all the ends on all the other vines I already had done and attached to like the vine that's going to go around the pole for this garland. I had a list, right, of all of the colors of yarn I had, and the goal was to do 5 styles of garland in each color, and I have 6 types, right? So I finished the colors that needed to be finished, with the exception of one, which is the like neon green I have, and I'll point it out when I show you the whole finished garland later. I ran out of yarn on that one, so there's only 4 strands in that color. But this is the big twist yarn that I had bought for this because it was like on clearance, I believe, and I used it to make the 12 Days of Crochet Chameleon. I love this yarn. It was so soft, so nice to work with. So in the different styles I have, these are my big leaves. I have just like little, I have them listed in my note as balls, but they're like little string of pearl clusters. I have these some like a Monstera style leaves. We have little leaves. Little leaves compared to the big leaves. Which the big leaves aren't much bigger, but they are fatter in comparison. And then we have my favorite, which is just the chain. So you chain however long you want it to be. And then you get to the end, and you chain 10, and then you just slip stitch back into the chain, and then you chain 10, and you slip stitch back into the chain. And it just, like, A, it eats a ton of yarn, and B, it looks good. So I have those, and then I had another skein of this, which is a Red Heart yarn that was also in the clearance bin. It had a lot more brown in it than it looked like when it was all rolled up. So especially with like these Monstera leaves, some of them are really brown and sad looking, but I digress. I'm gonna finish it this week. That's the goal. I have 3 strands that I made with that Red Heart yarn, so I have 2 more to make yet. And then this is what I have left of the other colors. So I had enough left in this color, because I'm not going to use this yarn for anything else. So I had enough left in this that I just made like a very basic balls strand. But this yarn in particular, I despise. And then like these can always end up in scrap, that's fine. But this yarn has to go with this project because I hate it. And then this yarn is still available for purchase. Karen, it's one of the cakes. It's like 51% cotton, 49% acrylic, something like that. It's partially cotton. But this yarn, I love this yarn. This yarn is great to work with. It's a little annoying to frog if you have to frog it, but it's so soft. I like working with it, and like the only downside is because it does have a cotton content. Blah. I made a cardigan with this yarn. And then I washed it, and it shrank just a little bit, so now it's like really tight, so I don't really wear it. It just sucks because I really like the cardigan turned out. Maybe I can do like a try-on video of all my like cardigan and crochet. Cardigan and blah 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 blah. Let me try that sentence from the top. If you guys would like to see me do a video where I try on all of my handmade crochet items, mainly my cardigans and sweaters, let me know. I can do that as a video. Because other than the cardigans and sweaters, I have like one wrap shawl thing I made. I have that like, technically I have 2. I have like an actual full-blown shawl, and then I have that granny square, like Taco Bell 90s colored, like granny square shawl thing I made. And I have a couple hats, but if that's something you guys want to see, let me know. But I do think this is going in the scrap bucket, which is right below you folks here. And then I think I'm going to stick this one in the scrap bucket too, because I don't need a ton more garlands to cover the door I want to cover, but I do want to use up this yarn in particular. And I already did one with this yarn, but I might just do another chain, another one of my chain, more of these. The other thing I have that I haven't done with these that I'm gonna do with the Red Heart one, and if I use up all the Red Heart one and we only have 4 of those, it'll be fine, is spiral. So you chain to length, and then in every chain you work 2 single crochets, and then if you want to make it like wider, you can. You work it like the same way you would if you're working a flat round piece that you want to make bigger. So if you do a 3rd round, you would do an increase and a single crochet, increase in a single crochet all the way back down the spiral. And then if you went back up it again, which I did do to get rid of a bunch of, I had the like red heart camo yarn. You had like 2 skeins of it. I don't know why, but I used it all except for, you know, this. And that I did 4 rounds. So I did chain down, the increase in every chain back up, and then alternate increase single crochet down, and then on the way back up you do 2 single crochets and then increase, 2 single crochets and then increase. And it's like if you want to make like little wisteria or jellyfish, like that's the spiral you do for those. At least that's how I do it. I have never made either of those. Ta-da! It's done. It's up. I don't know if it's going to stay up. Let's hope. But yeah, got it all finished. Got it all tied together. You can't see down here, but like all of this just sits on the floor. I made a couple of them a little too long, but it covers my nice white door. It's gonna collect so much goddamn cat hair, but that's a problem for future me to deal with because it's done. The whip is no longer a whip. It's done. And yeah, there's some of these are really short, but I ran out of this yarn, so you know, so be it. I feel like there's a good variety of color and texture, and yeah, I was gonna put like a hook up on the wall here so I could but it didn't work out. I'll figure I don't know. I don't have a plan. I'll just deal with it. But yeah. The only thing I gotta do now is make sure the cats don't climb it. But I don't, the one wouldn't. The other 2, who knows? One of the 2 that might doesn't come in my room very often, so that's fine. And then the other one, if they try to climb it, this pole is going to break because this is just 2 dowels, and I drilled a hole in the end of the dowels, and I put a smaller dowel in it, glued it all together. So that's not very strong, and yeah, if they pull on it, it might break. We'll see what happens. I'm just happy that I can check this one off the list. I can use the box that I had all this yarn in for something else. And, hold on, pause. This is the only yarn I have left. And I can use this for something else. It's fine. But yeah. I'm so happy that this is finally done. I will I don't have like saved where I got all these patterns, so I don't know that I just want to put them in the description. If I can find where I got them from, I will. But like, this is just a spiral. Like, there's no real pattern for this. You just chain as long as you want, and then you work 2 single crochets in every chain. I don't have a pattern for that. And same with these. These are just, you chain to length, and then you make 10 chain loops, and then single crochet it, or not single crochet, slip stitch back into your main chain. And I like these. I like the texture of these, and they don't require a lot of thought. But as for the other ones, I've got little leaves, I've got big leaves, we've got like the monstera leaves, we've got a big knotted mess. So that's all this curtain's ever going to be, is a big knotted mess. But I just want to see if I can get this up close enough that you guys can see it. They're cute little monstera leaves. I really like how they turned out. And then balls. And speaking of the cat that I'm afraid is going to climb this, say hi, Sander. Say hi, Sander. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah? I put you on the ground. Are you going to try and play with them? I really don't want you to. No, he's like, pick me back up and pet me. Why am I on the floor now? Yeah. He's sniffing them. He doesn't seem very interested in them, though. Which is good. That's what we want. Alright. So, that means it is time to work on and finish the Fuck AI skeleton part. So we're going to get to work on that now. Alright. Just wanted to film a little progress update. More so for myself. I'm reminding myself that the process thus far has been start cardigan, pause, finish leaf garland curtain, continue cardigan. So, in that vein, there was another pause because I'm a big believer that A, all art is political, and B, art is also therapy. And sometimes when you have a lot of gross feelings inside of you and you have to get them out, you get them out through your art. I made this little tombstone because I had to, yeah. On my phone, and my phone kept reminding me of all of the goddamn bullshit that is going on. And I'm like, I need to purge all of this anger out into something. So I made that. And then, as far as the cardigan, let's review. We have one back panel, which looks fabulous. I have a hood, because I've already connected it. Everybody okay? That was unnecessary and dramatic. You gonna be okay there? Nope. You're definitely gonna fall over again. So I'm just gonna hold on to it. Where was I? Hood. Already connected. Because I had enough yarn to do that. And it's a hood. I have yet to make a hood from a pattern that isn't large. Like, for someone with decidedly more hair than me. So I just slip stitched it together because this seam will never, ever touch my head because, again, come on. Can you be a hood? Hood? Thank you. Like, much larger than my head. We will be fine. So, both of these pieces were made with Big Twist in black. And then the next two pieces I'm going to show you are made with loops and threads because when I went to Michael's, even though they had Big Twist, they didn't have any in black. Because why would we have like a fucking basic color like black when we can have, 17 shades of purple? Even though I love having 17 shades of purple. It's not what I needed for that. I did try on both the hood and these arms to make them kind of match. I did not succeed fully. As you can see, this one doesn't get all the way down to the like tealer green. But whatever. They're close enough. Here's my thing. I don't like wasting yarn, and I don't waste yarn. Like if I were to cut it off and not use it to like sew something up or as part of the cuff or whatever, it would go in my yarn scraps and I would use it as stuffing. So I don't really waste yarn, but it still feels like wasting yarn to just cut a big chunk out of the middle of the skein to make the colors match. And like, you can kind of see it on the hood. So the purple on this side is like right above the teeth line. And on this side, it's underneath the teeth line. So it's off by like 2 rows. It's fine. Whatever. I don't care. And it's my cardigan. So the quandary I now have is I have 1 skein of loops and thread because it took 1 skein each to make both of those sleeves. So I have 1 skein of loops and thread left. And then I have this and this of Big Twist. And I'm hoping this is enough to do both front panels. Because if I use the loops and thread to do like the ribbing and shit, whatever. The dye lots match, like they're pretty much the same color. That's not the problem. This stuff is thinner than the loops and thread, which like I used it for the sleeves. That's fine. I don't care if the sleeves are a little bulkier than like the front and the back pieces. But what I don't want is to be halfway through a panel and have to switch, because then it's not gonna like lay flat. You're gonna be able to tell. I don't want that. So that's where we're at with the cardigan. But yeah, I have to put felt on the back of this. But the felt is in the ottoman under Bear over there. And I don't want to deal with all of that right now. So that's why this is still... I did steam it yesterday, so it lays a little flatter. But as you can see, like, the corner still wants to pop up. And I did, I just used a pixel alphabet that I pulled up on Pinterest. And so I did have to, in the N and the W and the C and the O, I did have to go through and stitch them so that they were a little more readable. But, yeah. That is my current update. Well, guys. I don't remember if I whined about this yet or not, but here it goes. I went, if you recall, earlier in this video, to Michael's to get more yarn, and they didn't have any Big Twist, so I got some of their yarn. Thing is that this yarn is slightly excuse me. This is ever so slightly thicker than the Big Twist, which is fine as long as you're not using them in the same panel together. Well, I was working on the first of the 2 front panels last night, and that's what's left of this ball. Now, I do still have, but I have to make 2 front panels, so that's not going to be enough yarn. So I went to Michael's, and we have successfully acquired 3 of these boys, and they're buy 2 get 1 free today. So I might have bought more than just this. I know, naughty of me. Now, last time I went to Michael's and I got the loops and thread, I got these. And I want to make a sweater with these, and I have a pattern picked out, and that's going to be the project to do after this. But if I start this without finishing the skeleton cardigan, I'm not going to finish the skeleton cardigan. Because I know myself, and that's how I am. So I'm going to work really, really slowly on this and be mad the entire time that that's what I'm working on and not the thing I want to be working on, so that I can finish that, so that I can work on the thing I want to be working on. By the time I'm working on the thing that I want to be working on, I won't want to work on that anymore either. So I did get 1 more of those, just in case. And like I said, it was buy 2, get 1 free. So I got 4 each of these, of each color. So these are the Karen Smash Cakes. And there was a 3rd color I wanted to get, but they only had 2 of them. And I don't think I can do anything with less than 3 of them, really, other than making things to make things with the yarn, and that's not what I'm about. So this one's mixed up mint. Oh, I really like it. I have my nightstands out now. Like, they're not under my loft, so I feel like I just see them and register them mentally a lot more than I did before. And they bring me so much joy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can show you. These are my nightstands. When I bought them, the front of the drawers had like a wicker insert on it. So I peeled that out and I just put it in some like flat wood slats. And then I painted them to look like arcade carpet. And it's super obnoxious and it brings me so much joy. And these give me that same energy. So I got this one, which I said is mixed up mint. And then I got 4 of this one, which is like blues, purples, pinks, reds, and this is blackberry. I don't know what I'm going to make with these yet, but I really liked them. And then the other thing I got is I'm going to do an art trade with one of my friends, and she wants the monarch cardigan that I made with like the ivory and the purple variegated yarn. But she wants one that's just straight up monarch butterfly. So I got this, which is red heart in the color carrot, and this, which is big twist in the color claret. And then I also got, I won't need this whole thing for the cardigan, but like I said, it's buy 2 get 1 free. And I'll use this for other stuff. This one is actually antique white. It's not the white, but my lighting is not good for this particular color. Better? It's a little better. So I have these now, and whenever I feel like making that again, we can get started on that, which is nice. And like I said, I'm making that for my friend. Making it for the friend whose husband I made the Dragonair scarf, which everybody got their stuff. Everybody loved their stuff. I'm so happy. I love making things for people. It brings me joy. But I love making things for people when I want to make things for people. But I make videos instead of sell stuff. But yeah, so it is Monday. I did pretty much the entire front panel. Like, we're at the hip bone. So I'm gonna knock this out today. I'll probably get, I had to guess, half of the second panel done today if I maintain momentum, which is a big if. And then I would like to, ideally, fingers crossed, have this done, assembled, with cuffs by Friday. Or, like, with all the ribbing. I don't have buttons for it. I was gonna look at buttons at Michael's, but you think I fucking remembered? Absolutely not. Yarn was on sale. I had other priorities, thank you. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the buttons. That is a problem for future me. And future me is not gonna thank Perez and me for making it their problem, but I don't care right now. So, that's my update. That's my yarn haul. I have to figure out where to go. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear me, and I hope when I set this down you can still hear me. And if not, I guess I'm gonna have to do a voiceover. But I am making for the cardigan some pockets. So As you can see, my hand fits in there quite nice. I'm going to set this microphone down, so if there's weird noises, that's why. But as you can see, my hand fits in there quite nice. And I added these rows of black. And I'm going to use the hood as an example because it's small and easy to put on my lap. But pretend that this is the side seam of the cardigan, right? So we're going to, when we sew everything together, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch this on that side. And then slip stitch the other one. But when it sits like this, it's going to look like nice and not noticeable. And then, bam! Surprise rainbow pocket. But I'm going to show you how I started this. Because it's not like a new technique or anything. But I do really like how this turned out. And it's pretty, like, not overly stretchy. And my phone also fits in this. I can show you, but I'm recording on it. But get this out of here. And let me show you what I did. So far, what I have on here is the very start of my foundation row. So it's just the first foundation single crochet. So I'm going to do 15 of these. Alright, so here's a very not super pretty foundation single crochet row of 15. Now, 15 is what fits like the width of my hand. Can we focus? Hello? 15 is kind of what fits the width of my hand. With this yarn and a 5.5mm hook. So like obviously the size would change depending on your yarn and hook. And then I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to turn, work back down this chain of the foundation row. I'm going to do 15 more single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I'm going to chain again and slip stitch into the very first stitch. Chain one, turn, and then I now have 32 is my magical number here. So I'm going to work one into each chain, into every single crochet, and just keep working around. When I get to the end, I'll slip stitch, chain one until I have this. But this is not in the pattern. This is not part of the instructions. So back here, I wanted to show you what I'm doing. And again, I don't think this is like some revolutionary new idea. I just I really like how this turned out. So I thought I'd share. That's all. And yeah, I'm really excited for like surprise rainbow pocket. All right, I have done some assembly. This hood is enormous. I digress. Spin and show you the back. And then, what's that? Oh yeah, it's a pocket. Obviously I haven't done the ribbing yet. And I don't know, color-wise, I see no difference. These are the loops and threads. This is the big twist. So the sleeves are a little stiff. I'm hoping that'll get fixed when I wash it, but I do have to do the ribbing. I'm not entirely certain what I plan to do with that, but I do think, because this doesn't sit like, it's very bunched up here. I do think once it's washed, it'll sit a little longer on me. Sorry, I'm doing a Kermit Darth Maul thing. So I do think that it'll relax. I did, mind you, this is the large extra large. I don't know if I was meeting gauge. I didn't check that. On average, my tension with a 4.5 to 5 millimeter hook is 1 inch by 1 inch is 4 stitches by 4 rows. So on average, that's just the tension I default to, and that was the tension that was listed in the pattern, so I didn't do a gauge swatch. So is it a little bigger or smaller than it's supposed to be? I could measure it. I'm not going to. I will say I am so goddamn proud of how well, until we get down to like these vertebrae down here, just cover them up, this whole sternum matches on both sides. I did like try, but I wasn't going to be cutting large swaths out of the skein to do it. I just added in a little extra green on the like first row, and then it matched up. I have weaved in all of the ends, and when I did these, I had to take this off. I know I was complaining about it being cold like 2 clips ago. It's better. It's not like the greatest outside, but it is 74 in my room, and I did have that window open until like 9 this morning, so it could be worse outside. What I did with this is I slip stitched everything together. So I pinned the sides together, and when I did that, I actually had this, inside out. And then I left a string at the end of this after I did the 3 rows of black so that it's got like a nice shadow line. And then I slip stitched the one side and down, and then I attached a new yarn. I slip stitched the other side all the way up to the end of the sleeve. So that's how that went. And then I just took this and stuffed it back inside. And like, again, my whole hand fits in there nice and easy. And same on the other side. I am hoping to, it did say to like block all the pieces before you assemble it, but I wasn't doing that. This thing's just going to go in the wash when it's done. And that's how I block things, because that's how I wash things. So the side seams are a little, I guess they're in the right spot. They just feel like the back panel feels tight. But I also don't have ribbing on this yet either, so that may help, because when I actually put these together, it's fine. But for my first time adding in pockets on the side seam, I'm going to call it a win, because I think it turned out great. And like, yeah, they look a little lumpy. It's crochet. Everything looks a little lumpy. I was thinking, when it was super cold out, I was considering making like matching fingerless gloves, but I don't really know that I want to do that. I'm going to go do the cuffs and the ribbing. I haven't decided how I'm doing this ribbing yet. I also don't know what I'm doing for buttons. I should figure that out. I'm going to go look at my button collection and see how I do. Okay, before my camera falls over again. It's done-ish. I did the button band and bottom ribbing, and I did that all in black. And I did the cuffs, which I did in rainbow. I'm going to put it on, and then we're going to run it through the washing machine, because I don't feel like doing my whole vinegar hot water thing. I'm tired, I'm impatient. I'm done with this project, mentally, emotionally, over it. Let's get it done. I don't know if anybody else gets like that. Like, it's like 90% done, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm good. Mentally past this project. I do still have the ends on these cuffs. They're woven in, but they're a little, I don't know if I'm going to want to change them yet or not. They're a little too big, long. But This side has the holes. So I'll sit like this. Hood up, hood down, and then the pockets. Hello, there it is. All right. So yeah, I do think post wash she gonna sit nice. She gonna be pretty. She gonna be comfy. But she needs a wash. Mostly, he's right here. This chair is this guy. His hair. All the black stuff. Why does your hair only stick to black yarn, sir? No, it is bad because it's covered in cinder. I don't know. I'm not. This is the middle size on this cardigan, which is how I feel like things should be. Like, I feel like I'm a fairly normal sized person. But I feel like with a lot of crochet patterns, I'm going to the biggest size, and in some cases, sizing up my hook to make it fit. Newer patterns are better than older patterns, I find. But, yeah, this thing is roomy. I don't know. Oh, you can. Certainly. Like, that's the end of my hand before we even get to cuff land. So, I just, for these, I'm hoping it makes them less stiff. I hope the wash makes the arms a little less stiff without stretching them a lot. That is my, but I'm going to go run this through the wash. When I see you again, I should be wearing this. But hopefully with these woven in and buttons. I'm wearing it. It has buttons. The sleeves are a little long, but they softened up so much. And I mean, I didn't do anything special. I chucked this in the washer on medium heat with a Tide Pod, and then I put it in the dryer, also on medium heat, with a bounce sheet. Like, I didn't do anything special. I could only find, I have a bag. I have 2 bags actually, but they're like, I got them at Walmart. It's like a pound of black buttons, a pound of brown buttons. So I managed to find 4 that were exactly the same, and then this one's just slightly different. But I don't think it's that noticeable. The pockets, hello, prize rainbow. They sit nice and quiet and sticky like. This is really comfy. My only complaint is how absolutely unbelievably large this is. And I might, because I did end up adding like 2 rounds of single crochet here at the edge, just to get from this ribbing around. Because I did, when I did the ribbing, started at one corner and I single crocheted because, whenever you work into the side of things, it can get real icky looking. So I just like to do a round of single crochet to make sure everything looks nice and even and clean. And then I go back and do the ribbing. So as a result of that, I started at one corner, single crocheted up all the way around the hood, down, and then I started the bottom ribbing. Got all the way back around here. Did the buttons, single crocheted around, and then did the other button band. So, that's the side. This cuff. This cuff is pink and purple. Sorry, the window is like directly behind you guys, which is why the lighting is so absolutely ass. Also, the black and the neons the camera cannot handle. There we go. So, that's that arm. The full back. And I'm imagining, as I wear this, it's going to slowly sink down. But yeah, for this, oh, it's not bad like this. One, down. And I'm still really pleased that I got this to line up. That's the cardigan. Wanted to show you guys that I also did make progress on this. All I have left is her face. Woo!